Hello students, welcome to Mr. TK classes. Today we are doing inventory valuation. So we are doing question 2 from FSC 2601, October or November 2020 UNISA question paper. The question reads, Bongi Limited incurred the following transactions relating to inventory during the month of March 2020. 1 March 2020, opening balance. Right, these are all the transactions. Alright, required A. Calculate the cost price of inventory using the FIFO method for both perpetual and periodic inventory recording systems. Calculate the cost price of closing inventory using the weighted average method for both the perpetual and periodic inventory recording systems. Right, so we are going to do our answers here. So let me just write a few notes here. Okay, so inventory is valued at lower of cost or net realizable value or net realizable value. Inventory is valued at lower of cost or net realizable value. Okay, so that's what we'll be looking at when we are doing our question here. All right, here we are just simply going to write total. All right, total. Right. So remember we have a perpetual inventory system, which is asked here, and we have periodic inventory system, which is also asked here. So we are going to use first in, first out method, which is FIFO method for both inventory systems. So when you are using the perpetual inventory system, inventory is valued after each and every purchase or sale, right? So you realize that at the beginning, right, 2020 March 1, we had opening balance. Let us just go straight to the balance column. 400 multiplied by the cost rand per unit 25, right? Multiplied by 25 is equals to 400 multiplied by 25 is equals to 10,000. Is equals to 10,000, right? Is equals to 10,000. Is equals to 10,000. Okay, so this is our inventory value at the beginning. This is our inventory value at the beginning, right? So now what we need to do, okay, let me just adjust this. Let me adjust this. Okay, let me take this a little bit. Okay, just wait a minute. Let me just adjust this. Okay, now it's fine. So our inventory at the beginning is 10,000. Now we are going to sell, right, on the second. On the second, their sales, 100 units were sold, right? So we only have one batch, which is the batch that was there at the beginning. So these 100 units that were sold, their cost price was 25. Because remember we said inventory is valued at cost price. And here we have this 30. 30 is selling price. We are not going to look at selling price. We are dealing with inventory here. So we want to use the cost prices that we are given here. So we are going to say 100 multiplied by 25. Okay, what is the total? That one is straightforward, right? 100 multiplied by 25, 2,500. 2,500. Get 2,500. Okay, I just need to make this a little bit big so that our amounts will fit in nicely. Okay, so that our amounts will fit in nicely. All right, so now that we have sold 100 items, we had 400 items here. Now that we have sold 100 items, how many items are we gonna be having? 400 subtract 100, we are gonna be having 300 items after this sale. And remember our cost price is 25. 300 multiplied by 25, what do we get? 7,500. We get 7,500. Then now we are moving on to this purchase that is here. We are moving on to this purchase that is here. All right, so let us just come here and do this. All right. Okay. We just need to change the thickness of our border. All right. Okay. All right. So this is the inventory that we have after this transaction. So we are going to say 25, 7,500 so that our amount won't confuse us. Okay. Now let us move on to the purchase that happened on the 7th. So we purchased our main items 275. And these 275 items were for the cost was 27, right? 275 multiplied by 27, 275 multiplied by 27 gets 7,425. 7,425. Okay, we get 7,425. Okay. So what we are simply going to do here, now we are going to our balance. Our balance now has to change because we have new items now that just came in. We had 300. Now we have to add this 275 to get 575. And these 575, let us come here and value them. We are going to say our value now, we are going to say 7,500, right? 7,500. 7,500. Or let me just do this. Let me just indicate this with 275, 27, so that our amounts won't confuse us. 7,425. Then we just come here. Now we calculate our totals. Now we calculate our totals. We are going to say 300 plus 275, get 575, right? 575. Okay, then we come here. We are going to say 7,500 plus 7,425. Our new inventory is 14,925. Because remember, we are using perpetual. So after each and every purchase, we have to value all the inventory that we have. After each and every sale, we have to value all the inventory that we have. Okay. So now we move on to the next one. We move to the transaction on the 15th. To the transaction on the 15th. Okay, I need to skip a line here. Transaction on the 15th. Right. So on the 15th, this is what happened. We sold 300 items. 300 items were sold. So now for these 300 items that were sold, remember we are using first in, first out method. And we have two batches here. So which batch is going to go out? This batch is going to go out. This one, the one that came first. Because first in, first out. So this batch is going to go out. So the batch that we have sold is the one that has 25 here. Is the one that has 25 here. All right, is the one that has 25 here. Okay, is the one that is 25 here. Then we are going to say 300 by 25. 300 by 25. We are going to get 7,500. So this batch of 7,500 is out. This batch of 7,500 is out. So what we are simply going to do under our balance, Let us just make use of brackets. This batch is out, right? This batch is out. This batch is out. And what was the amount? 7,500. Okay. So now we need to get our new total. Remember, we just removed this batch, the one of 25. The one of 25 is the one that we removed. So we are left with this one. So we don't need to calculate anything here. We're just gonna say this is the batch that we are left with. 77425. Okay, this is the batch that we are left with. 7425. Okay. All right. This a little bit. Okay. And this a little bit. Okay. So now this batch is out. We are left with this one only. Or I can just say 575 subtract 300. You get this 14,925 subtract 7,500. You get this. Okay. So what happened? Which date do we have? 25. Right? What happened? There was a purchase. How many items were purchased? 500. And they were purchased at how much? At 30. Okay. They were purchased at 30. So we are going to say 500 multiplied by 30. We are going to get 15,000. All right. So when you get 15,000, this is what we are simply going to do. We are going to say, all right, let us come here and we are going to add all these 15,000, right? We are going to add all these 15,000. All right, so okay, since this is a purchase, it means inventory is coming into our organization. 275 plus 500, 775. 775. Then let us come here. 7,425 plus 15,000. 22,425. 22,425. Okay. Then now, what happened next? Sales. Okay, on the 30th. So how many units were sold? 250. So which ones were sold now between these two? Remember, we are using first in, first out. So this is the first batch. It's going to go out first. So we sold this one. Okay, we sold these 250. We took them from this batch, right? So we are going to say 250 multiplied by 27, 6,750. 6,750. Okay, so we sold 250 items from that batch. Okay, 6,750. Okay, now we just need to put our brackets because this was going out. This was going out. We just need to put our brackets. This was going out. All right, then we are going to come here. Okay, we are going to come here. We are going to do this. Okay. So now we are left with here we are left with two batches actually. We are left with two batches, and I need to indicate them like how we should. Let me just say from this batch that had 275 units, we sold 250 units. It means we were left with the 25 units, right? We were left with 25 units. And these units, remember, they are at 27 runs, right? We are left with 25 units and they are at 27 runs. So we are going to say 25 multiplied by 27, 675. 675. Then this batch that is 500 is still there. This batch is not touched at all. Right? This batch is not touched at all. It's still there. Okay. So now we can simply say, can simply come here. We need to add these two things. We need to add these two things. So let us just get our total there, 675 plus 15,000. So we are going to get 15,675. 15,675. That's what we are going to get. And we were using a perpetual inventory system. After each and every sale, we were valuing our inventory. After each and every sale, we were valuing our inventory. That's what we call perpetual inventory system. Because if you check here, this was our value, this was our value, this was our value, going down. Now this is our value. After each and every sale, we're valuing our inventory. So this is perpetual inventory system. Okay. Now we want to value the same inventory using a periodic inventory system. So periodic inventory system, we are only going to value our inventory at the end of March. We are not going to value our inventory after each and every sale. This one is periodic. We value our inventory after a certain period of time. Like in this question, we are going to value our inventory at the end of March. So we are going to say, since we are using the first in, first out method, how many units do we have as closing inventory? They are not indicated, right? The units that we have, they are not indicated as closing inventory. So we need to calculate them. Let's say when we started March, we had 400 units. Then we sold 100, so they were going out. Then we purchased our main 275, so they were coming in. Then we sold 300, so they were going out. Then we purchased 500, so they were coming in, right? Then we sold 250, so they were going out. So it means that the number of units that we have is 525. These are the units that we have in stock, 525. So since we have 525 units in stock, these are the units that we need to value. And we are using first in, first out method, which means what came first were the first ones to go out. So what we have now, these ones, they are coming from the recent purchases, because what we have at the beginning, we sold that first. So it means what we have now is from the recent purchases. So we are going to look at our recent purchases. So we are starting from the bottom going up, right? Because what came first, we're selling that first. We're selling that first. So what we have is what we bought. This is what we bought at last, which is our recent purchases. So we are going to say this 525, 500 of them, they are from this batch, right? Okay. Okay, all right. These 525. Okay, let me just put some stars here. Then, and say these 525. 500 of them. Okay. 500 of them. 500 of them. 500 of them. They are from the 25 March batch. So we are going to say multiply by 25 March cost price, which is that, right? So what are we going to get? We are going to get 500 multiplied by 30. And we have that calculation already here. We can just do it so that we make sure. we are going to get 15,000, right? But do you see that we want to value 525 units, and we have already given value to 500. So how many units do we still need to give value to? We are going to say 525 subtract 500 that we have already that we have already given value. So it means that we still need to give value to 25 units. So we are going to say 25 units multiplied by, which one is the next batch? All right, so the next batch was 7 March batch. This is when we purchased, right? This is when we purchased, and we purchased at 35. We purchased at 35. Okay, so we are going to say 35. All right, then we are going to say 35. 25 by 35. 25 by 25 by 35. We are going to get 875. 875. 25 by 35. Okay, let me see. All right, 7 March batch. No, it's not 35. It's 27. Sorry, it's 27. It's 27. This one, 7 March. Okay, 7 March 27. This was the cost price. Sorry. Okay, so we are going to say 25 by 27. 25 by 27. We are going to get 675. Okay, so now we just need to add these two. We just need to add these two. What are we going to get? Just need to add these two. 675 plus 15,000. 15,675. This is our value. This is the value of closing inventory. This is the value of closing inventory using first in first out method, which is 15,675. So when you are using periodic inventory system and when you are using perpetual inventory system, if it's first in first out method, our inventory is going to be the same, right? Our inventory is going to be the same. Okay, so now let us move on to B, where we are doing weighted average method. So we are starting with the perpetual inventory system. Okay, so on 1 March, okay, the balance is still the same. We don't need to calculate something that we already have. Let us just take here and come and paste here because it's still the same question. Still the same question. This is our balance, right? This is our balance. Okay, so now the next thing that happened is sales on 2 March. We sold. All right, so here we need to say total. Here we need to say total. So we need to say we sold how many? 100. And here, remember, we are recording the cost price, which is the buying price. So this 100, their cost price was 25. And we have calculated this before. 100 by 25 is 2,500. 2,500. Okay, so we are left with our main items here. We are left with our main items here. Let me just make use of brackets. We remove that 100 by 25, right? It goes to 2,500. Okay, so here it means we are going to get, 300 units. Here we are going to get, okay, I need to do this. Okay, Here we are going to get, let us go to our calculator, 10,000 subtract 2,500. We are going to get 7,500. 7,500. Okay. So this is what we have currently as inventory. Right. So what is the next thing? The next thing, all right, we are going to the 7th of March, right? 200 and 275 items were bought. 275 items were bought on the 7th of March. 275 items were bought at 27. So what we get, I remember we calculated this, so we don't need to go to our calculator again. Okay, we bought them at this much. We bought these at this much. Bought these at that much. Okay, so we are going to say, okay, let me just adjust this a little bit. So this is our purchase. Let us come here. This is when our method, this is when our methods will be different. This is when our methods will be different, right? So we come here, let us add these two. Let us add these two. Our methods, this is when they will be different. How many units do we have now in stock? 300 plus 275. I remember having this calculation. 300 plus 275 is equal to 575. Okay, so we are going to take, okay, we are going to take both of these. We have already calculated them, so we are simply going to put them here. Okay, so now what we do when it comes to these methods, the difference now is here we calculate average cost price. That's why it is called the weighted average method. We calculate average cost price because we have two batches, and these two batches, they have different cost prices. And the one that we remained with 300 at this cost price of 25, right? Okay, let me just indicate here. The one of 275, the cost price is 27. So do you see that we have two different cost prices? We need to average them. So when we are averaging, we are simply going to say 14,925 divided by 575. So we are going to get 25,000. We are going to get 25 point, sorry, 96. 25.96, because this question didn't specify the number of decimals. Let us just check at the, okay, let us just check our instructions. This question paper consists of 4 questions. All questions must be answered. Basic calculations where applicable must be shown. Ensure that you are ended. Okay, each question attempted. All right. Okay, so let us just round this to nearest rand. Let's not complicate. Let us round this to nearest rand. Okay, where is the amount on our calculator? All right, so let us just say this is 26. Let us round to nearest rand. Okay, 26. So now the next batch, all right, the next transaction that we have is on the 15th. And what happened on the 15th? We sold 300 items, right? 300 items that we sold. So when we are selling now, we are no longer taking the cost price from here because we have a new cost price, the one that we have calculated now. So that's the one that we are now taking. That's why we call this weighted average method. We take this average cost price. So we are going to say 300 by 26. 300 by 26. We are going to get 7,800. Going to get 7,800. So it means that we have sold 300 items. Here we write 26. Here we write 7,800. So let us come here. This is a cell. This is a cell, right? This is a cell. All right, we need to put our border here. We need to put our border here. All right, so we are going to say 575 subtract 300. 575 subtract 300. What do we get? 275. Get 275. Okay. So our cost price is still the same. Our cost price is still the same. So we have two options. We can say 275 multiplied by 26. Get 7,150. Or we can say 14,925 subtract 7,800. Okay, 14,925 subtract 7,800. They were saying 275 multiplied by 26, 7,150. Okay, I just need to see something here. 575 multiplied by 26. What do we get? Okay, so there was an error here. There was an error here. Okay, luckily we picked it before we got to the end. Okay, 14,950 subtract 7,800. 7,150. So you see, our amount now is fine. So this is our new inventory value. This is our new inventory value. So what we need to come here and write is that average cost price is only calculated when a purchase is made. When a purchase is made, right? When a purchase is made. Average cost price does not change. Does not change when inventory is sold. When inventory is sold. So what I've written here is here, right? So do you see that when we bought here, our average changed? When we sold, our average remained the same. So we are only going to calculate our average every time we buy, right? Every time we buy. Every time we sell, we are not going to average our cost price. Okay. After 15 is 25, right? Okay. You can see that we purchased how many items? 500 items. These 500 items, they were purchased at 30. So now 500 multiplied by 30, we get 15,000, right? So we are going to come here and say we bought 500 more at 30, right? And the total is 15,000. So now it means that we need to we need to average because you see that we have different cost prices here. So now we need to average. We just bought, right? We just bought, so let us average our cost price. Okay, what is the total then? We are going to say 275 plus 7 plus 500. Going to get 775. 775, right? Then 7,150 plus 15,000, 22,150, right? So now let us average. 22,150 divided by 775, get it 29. Get it 29. Okay. So now that we have 29 here, now that we have 29 here as our average, let us go to our next batch, which is the one on the 30th, which is the one on the 30th. So on the 30th, what happened? We are going to say 30. We sold, right? Sold 250 items. And remember, our cost price does not change whenever we sell. So 250 multiplied by 29 is equals to 7,250. Okay. So now we need to put brackets here, 250. Okay, 29 still the same because we are selling 7,250, right? Okay, so now we come here, then we say 775 subtract 250, 525, right? 525, 525 multiplied by 29, 525 multiplied by 29, multiplied by 29, we get 15,225. Get 15,225. Okay, so now what we need to do, all right, now what we need to do, we now need to use our periodic inventory system. Periodic inventory system, where we only value our inventory at the end of our financial period. Here we're valuing after each and every sale and after each and every purchase. But now we are going to value once at the end of our financial period. So this is the formula that we use. This is the formula that we use. We say opening inventory plus purchases plus transport expenses minus purchases returns, right? Divided by opening inventory plus purchases returns. So our numerator will be values and our denominator will be units. Then we multiply by our closing stock units. Right, so I just need to briefly explain this formula. So this numerator we have, okay, so what we are doing here, this part, we are calculating average cost price. When you calculate average cost price, we are just multiplying by our closing stock. So in our process of calculating average cost price, we are saying all the inventory that we ever had in our business since it started, we take its value, we take the value, we put it as a numerator. Then all the inventory that we have, that we ever had in our business since the beginning of this financial period, we add the units down here. Then we say value divided by units. We get average cost price. We multiply by number of closing stock units. So what we are going to do, we are going to say opening inventory. Opening inventory is 400 multiplied by 25 is 10,000. We are going to say 10,000, right? 10,000. Okay, let me just push this. 10,000 plus, okay, purchases. We need to add all the purchases, so we can just add them one by one. All right, we have a purchase here, 275 by 27, 275 by 27, 7,425, 7,425. I just need to confirm with our calculations here. All right, this is our purchase. Then we have another purchase on the 25th. This one, 15,000 is the total, right? That just come here and add 15,000, right? Let us just add 15,000. Then our denominator, we are now dealing with units. Opening inventory, 400, right? 400. 400 plus 275 plus 500, right? Okay. Okay. Plus 500 multiplied by, remember when we started we calculated the number of our closing inventory units, calculated them somewhere, these ones, 525. Okay, so let us come here and say multiply by 525, multiply by 525. So now we need to simplify this. Now we need to simplify this, right? Now we need to simplify this. Okay, let me just copy this. Now we need to simplify this. So this numerator is going to be replaced by, okay, we are going to say 10,000 plus 7,425 plus 15,000. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? We are going to get 32,000. 32,425. 32,425. We are going to get the 2,425. Okay. And then the denominator, let us simplify it. Let us simplify our denominator. We are going to say 400 plus 275 plus 500. We are going to get 1,175. Okay, so now we need our final answer. Now we need our final answer, and our final answer is going to be in rands because this is closing inventory. Okay, so we are going to say, all right, before we go to our final answer, I just need to cross check this calculation. 10,000 plus 7,425 plus 15,000, the 2,425. Okay, divided by 1,175. Okay, we get this, multiply by 525, get 14,488. We are just rounding. 14,488. Okay, so you see that when you are using weighted average method, our inventory will be different. Why? Because we are calculating average price after each and every sale or purchase. So subsequently our final value would change, would be different to this one. Okay, so this is how we use these two methods when you are calculating closing inventory. So this is part B and this is part A. Thank you. We meet in the next lecture.